So in today's video, I just want to talk really quickly and illustrate a more in-depth look when it comes to relationships and what this book is trying to tell us about relationships and how this all interacts with money and how we think about the world, money, markets, all that stuff. It all goes together. And I'm going to try to demonstrate that in this video of what this book is trying to tell us. So I have a little picture here that I drew, and it's basically a picture of just a normal average person or whatever. And then you see their relationships as they go from the person outwards, it gets less and less close to that person. So you have you, and then you have your siblings, your mom, your dad, your friends, your acquaintances, whatever. And then you have like your strangers and enemies. So as it goes deeper away from the individual, it goes into the territory of like, we don't know, like you don't know them, you don't know who they are, etc., etc., right? And what this book is trying to tell us is that with how people were in the past was in your immediate family and your friends and your close social group, you didn't barter with these people. You did not barter with them. You bartered with acquaintances and strangers and enemies, people that you don't know. That's the people that people bartered with. They never bartered with their friends and their neighbors and their family, right? Because with this group, they have a deep, deep sense of community and relationships with each other. They have a mutual, ongoing relationships of mutual aid, mutual responsibilities, and mutual obligations to each other in this group, in their group. They don't have that with these people, right? And that's the whole premise of bartering and money exchange. Is that when you exchange with people in this way, you're not doing this in the sense of keeping an ongoing relationship with that person. It's a one and done, and then that's it, right? But with these, it's much more than just an exchange. These are deep relationships, and they're ongoing, and you're not keeping account. You're not keeping track in the same way as what you're doing with like strangers and enemies and all that stuff. Like it's mutual responsibilities, mutual obligations, duties, whatever you want to call it. That's what you have with these people. And the reason why so many of us don't really understand a lot of this stuff is because I wrote another little picture here, is because in our current society, when you, right, this is your person, going to get groceries and you go into the store, everyone around you is a stranger. Our whole society is just filled with really us being around mainly just strangers when we go into the marketplace or when you go and get things. And, you know, and this is what this whole modern world is that we're in, is it's just nothing but strangers. Like everything we do when it comes to like coworkers and the store and going to buy things and getting things, and it completely changes the way we look at stuff. And this is why when people think, well, back then everybody just bartered with everybody, but that's not true. Money did not come about from bartering. It did not come about from bartering. Really, it came about from the first states in the world, in Mesopotamia, were using it as a way to track resources, and they used it as a unit of account. That's where we really got the first actual money, because it's an account of debt, of them transferring resources. But people in general, before states and stuff like that, they didn't barter, and there weren't states controlling everything, and so people could, really just live their own way in their own communities and have their own little communities or whatever, right? It's with states, that's when you get the money and the markets and the debt and all that stuff that comes in. But anyway, I guess that's another topic of like the origins of money. But the reason why we can't see it that way is because we look at everything, every transaction now, and people in the modern world is of exchange, because because everyone is a stranger. So of course we're going to see it like that. Of course everyone's going to see it like that, because everything we do now is nothing but activities in this way, or exchanges with just strangers, all the time, constantly. And that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to get an equivalence from the stranger. There's no mutual responsibility, there's no mutual aid, there's no ongoing relationships, except really with your family. But even today, that's getting broken up to where now there really is nothing else. It's just strangers. And I'm probably going to make another video and probably do a wider scope video of how all of it connects together. Because the reason this happens is really because of states. And I'm going to get into that, but I just wanted to show this, that, your relationships and stuff like that, especially in the past, were not this way. People back then did not operate and think of the world and look at the world the way they do now, because now, again, it's all constant strangers, it's constant exchange, it's what can I get out of it. But people back then, with their deep relationships, they did not look at the world like that, and they had the ability to produce what they needed for themselves to survive, and in the world that they lived in. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about for right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it.